Good morning. Cyndi Williams here, Wanderlust CEO, travel career coach, 15 minutes late for the live stream. It's true, we had some technical difficulties. In our mastermind that we run, we always say, I am a tech ninja, I am a tech ninja. So our streaming software wasn't hooking up with all the places today, so I'm sorry we're a little bit late, but I have an amazing topic for the show today. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is Bliss to Abundance. I'm your host, Cyndi Williams, and we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons why your travel business is not growing as fast as it could, or not growing fast enough, right? So if you're joining us over on Facebook, give us a little hello. I'm going to pop over there just in case I see any questions. The Bliss to Abundance show also, if this is your first time on the live stream or watching the show, we also stream over on Roku, Amazon Fire. You can catch replays later, or if you like the show and you want to see some of our old shows, definitely check that out over there. And then we have a new podcast. It just went live on iTunes. So you can, my son told me, you can literally grab your phone and go, Siri, play Bliss to Abundance podcast. Boom. We can join you on your way to work or wherever you are. So I'm going to say welcome. My name is Cyndi Williams, by the way. If you don't know me or if this is, like I said, your first time to the show, there's a few things you should know about me. My purpose and mission in life is to motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance, hence the name of the show. Most of the time I do that through the travel industry because I started in the travel industry. I hit my 25-year anniversary this year. I went back and did the math and I was like, what? But yes, right out of high school, I went to travel school and I love travel. I love travel. A couple other things I love that I always share with our audience. So if you're watching live or watching the replay, I love crazy earrings. And one of my clients called me out yesterday because we were on our mastermind call and she waited till the end. She said, I just have to ask, you don't have earrings in today? And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I had an off day, but I have my earrings ready. So if you're watching, Corelli, those are for you always. And the other thing that I love besides travel and amazing earrings is I always like to share a fun coffee mug with y'all. So today we actually just got back. I lost myself on screen here, so I'm making sure I'm in frame with the camera. So give me just a minute. There we are. I see myself. Okay. So we just got back from our New Orleans. We did a big gold digger retreat there. So I got this from my daughter, and I'm totally stealing it this morning, but Café du Monde, I mean the beignets, have you had them? They're legendary, they're famous, and my son was at, okay, quick story, and I promise we'll get to the content. My son, who's 10, came along to the retreat with me because he goes to one of those year-long schools where they have weird breaks. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to take my son to Café du Monde, and he's never been before, so we walk down to the French Quarter, we sit down, we order the beignets and the whole thing, and he takes his first bite and he goes, Disney doesn't know how to make beignets. They have to talk to this place because he's been to Disney a million times. He's like, these must be Tiana's beignets, huh? In love. So yeah, so if you get to New Orleans, don't miss Café du Monde. It's a tradition. It's amazing. So check that out for sure. So, but let's get into today's content. I see everyone joining. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello. I want to talk about, and it's so funny because it's bubbled up actually. If you're in our community, Careers on Vacation, we have a great support community. If you're thinking about getting into the travel industry, or you're looking to launch or supersize your agency or grow it, and sometimes the questions bubble up. And one bubbled up yesterday. And someone was asking, like, how long does it actually take to, like, make money? Like, can I do this full time? Is it a possibility? Like, what should I expect? And then everybody's opinions come out. And I love that you guys share your opinions. I want you to share your opinions because everybody's experience is different. And as new people get into the industry, I think it is important to be realistic. But on the flip side, I am here to challenge you on what is possible in this industry. And I say that because I get frustrated. Like, I owned another franchise business, and I go to all these marketing conferences. I go to VidCon where there's a 12 and 13-year-old millionaires, right? And I get frustrated with our industry because we are not marketing. The home-based agent, most of them are not marketing like real businesses. And it puts you at a disadvantage from day one. So if you don't know what to do or how to proceed or where to go, that's why it can feel like it takes longer. But I want to, the reason, like, I had a different show planned for today, and then I just woke up like, I'm going to talk about this, and I literally have my scribbled chicken scratch because it just came out. Like, I have to get this message to our community and hopefully inspire you, right? So I want to take you back to probably about 13 or so, 12 or 13 years ago. My husband and I had our other business, and we were just starting out. And if there's one thing I've learned as an entrepreneur, it is you find out who is doing the best, right? You find out who one of my clients said to me a couple weeks ago on her exit call, her last final call in the program. She said, you know what this program is, Cyndi? She's like, eagles soar with eagles, right? So, and I love that. Like, I'm not sure if I've ever heard that before, but she heard it from a different one, and she's like, that's what I feel like this program was. I figured out where to go and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the program. I'm here to talk about you and how to grow your business. But the point is, in any industry or whatever you want to do, if you want to be the best gardener, the best painter, the best chef, or the best travel business owner, you figure out who is doing it at the level you want to do it, and you have a conversation, you connect, you try to model what they do, right? So I learned that early on as an entrepreneur in all the different businesses and ventures that I've done through my life. So with our franchise business, we would get a monthly report, and it would show where everybody was selling, what they were doing. And there were a lot of people selling $30,000 a month, $40,000 a lot. And then when you got it to the upper tiers, a couple were at $50,000, a couple at $70,000 a month. And this was around 200. There were about 200, 220 in the community at the time. But there was one store that was doing $300,000 a month. That's huge. And I was like, I got to talk to her, right? I have to talk to that person and figure out what they're doing. So I got that opportunity soon after we went to our first convention or conference. And I was like, look, I know we're kind of new. We were barely started, barely out of the gate. And not only were barely out of the gate, like literally the recession hit after we put our life savings into our business, right? But anyway, we had a conversation with her, and I said, you know, what was like your secret? Like, what was that point? Like, when, because I went back and looked at her numbers, and I could see she was at the 40, 50, 70, and then all of a sudden in 1 year, she jumped from being in around 60s or 70s to doing 300 every single month. I'm like, that's crazy. So I was like, what was your secret? Like, what happened? Like, what changed? She said, you know, it's so funny because she was just super calm. She said, sitting at my desk one day, and I was eating my sandwich, and I was having lunch. And at the time, she was doing around 50, 60. And a thought occurred to me that I should probably have a bigger goal. I was like, is that it? Like, really? Like, that was the thing? And she's like, yeah, like, I just made the decision that I was going to have a bigger goal. And I know no one had grown past 70 at the time, but I thought, well, I'm here now. I'm doing it. Everything's working good. What do I need to do? And then she started asking questions. What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? What could I put more money in marketing? Could I do different things? And that started her on a path that escalated her from 60 or 70,000 a month to 300. Okay. So the first thing is you got to decide when you get into this, and there's no judgment. Like, a lot of people get into the travel industry and they're like, I want to do a hobby business. That's totally fine. If you're going to do a hobby, no judgment. If you're in it for the perks and some of that, and you want to do it on the side of whatever your main job is, no judgment. I'm specifically talking to those of you who are like, I love travel. I want to do it full time. I want to work from home, have a portable, profitable travel business, and I want to do it big style, right? Like, how do you get the income where I don't have to have another job, or I have choices? I'm talking to you specifically, or as a hobby and want to transition into full-time. You got to decide, what is your plan? What do you want to do? So the first step really is like, decide, what are you going to do? So fast forward into today's world and like what my job is, yes, we have our own award-winning, highly profitable travel agency called Tripsy Travel. That's awesome. My other businesses, I do consulting for people just like you, and I work with hundreds of companies a year in assessing their businesses on where they're at, or if they're thinking about getting started or coming from a different industry. And there's 3 things that I have noticed that stop people in their tracks to either grow or to supersize. So if you can get a hold of these things, or ask yourself and be clear with yourself and be honest with yourself, am I willing to do these things to get to the next level? This is how you supersize in this industry, okay? So number 1 is, are you treating it like a hobby, or are you treating it like a business? So, and I have another video on YouTube. It's called 10 ways to figure out if you have a hobby business on your hands or a real business on your hands. So I'm going to go through like a couple of the top ones, but check that one out too. If you're like, maybe I've been in hobby state, maybe if you really don't know what kind of business you have on your hands right now. But the first one is, do you have real marketing in place? And I am not talking about going to a feed and saying, hey, everybody, what are you doing for marketing? Because are you talking to the Eagles? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Are the Eagles sharing? Maybe, when I say Eagles, right? Like, who's that top 10%? Who's top 20%? What is working? And the other thing is, in our industry, like I mentioned earlier, and it continues to frustrate me, I'm bringing it up again. Our industry, the big hosts, the big travel companies, they are marketing the way that they're supposed to, with funnels and with processes and with systems. The home-based agent a lot of times doesn't know how to do those things. So how you can tell the difference between hobby versus business is, if your marketing that you're doing right now, 1, if you're relying on friends and family, that should just be like extra. You shouldn't rely on friends and family at all to grow your business. So what I look at is, do you have new leads coming in from your marketing sources every single day? If you have new leads coming in every single day, you have a business. If you don't, you have a hobby, right? Or if you're waiting for that client to take the next trip that's already in your database, do you have new, fresh clients coming through your marketing funnels, through your marketing campaigns, systems that you have set up? And some of you might be like, Cyndi, I don't know, what is marketing for our industry, right? That is the question, right? So in any business, I don't care if it's travel, or it's you run a cleaning service, or if you run a restaurant, you have to have some type of marketing strategy. So how do you, getting from that place of putting real marketing in place? What is real marketing? What industry? You have to be committed to real marketing. You have to be committed to understanding everything you can do for free, like optimizing social platforms, and you have to understand what paid marketing works, or you'll waste thousands of dollars. So, but not getting in, that's a whole nother episode, right? That's kind of stuff we dig into our mastermind. But what I'm saying is, you need to commit to doing real marketing in your business if you want a real business. Don't rely on friends and family. Don't rely on a couple social media posts. It's not going to come together that way. All right. The other thing with how you know if you have a real business or not, if you're running your business based on feelings versus facts. What do I mean by that? So you're like, I feel like that might have been a good show. I feel like that might have been a good thing to do. I want to challenge you to get real with your numbers. What's your close rate? What's your cost per lead? What's your cost per conversion? If you don't know those numbers, you can't make good decisions, and that's how you end up wasting dollars. So are you running your business based on how you feel about it, which is really easy to do? And you do want to trust instincts. I don't want to take that out of it. You want to trust your instincts. But the flip side is, you have to make sure that you're running your business by numbers. That is how you will scale and grow and make good decisions, so you don't waste money. All right, so that's number 1. If you're treating it like a hobby, have a hobby. Just know that. So number 2 reason that people don't grow as fast as they want to is they have a huge fear of failure, right? Put me an emoji. Give me a heart emoji if you have had a fear of failure over wanting to do something in your business. You have thoughts of, what if it fails? What if people laugh at me? What if I waste money? Oh my gosh. I'm already, not making any money. What if I waste more money? What if I waste more time? What are people going to think of me if it doesn't work out? There's a great quote that says, I see the hearts coming in. Yes. I know. We all have them. Fear is normal. And that's where people go wrong with fear. Like they think it's a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing because it protects you from, certain things. But the most successful entrepreneurs feel the fear, but move forward anyway. That's like the biggest secret. And there's a great quote by Susie Kasem. It says, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. How many of you haven't gotten started yet? Are you watching this like, oh, is the travel industry for me? Pop me a little comment, pop me a little emoji. Is it for me? Do I want to get into this? Is it going to be easy? What road do I take? Whatever those fears are, I can tell you, you can have success in this industry. I work with rock star clients that are in our mastermind program every single day that are knocking it out of the park. Our graduate group knocking it out of the park. I'm actually going to share some comments from there in a second because I want to inspire you. But here's the thing. If you're so stuck in fear, it prohibits you from moving forward, right? And by the way, everything great I have ever done in my life, and I've run multiple six-figure businesses, but everything great I've done in my life, people told me I shouldn't do it. People said, I don't know, it seems risky. Couldn't you just, do this? I don't know if that's going to work. My dad was like, oh, most businesses fail. Yeah, they do. If you don't get the right support, tools, resources, right? But my personal favorite is, why don't you just insert, stupid thing that they want you to do? Why don't you go back to corporate, Cyndi? You're really good at that. You made a lot of money. Why don't you just do something a little safer that has a 401k? Why don't you just, I don't know, fill in the blank of the stupid thing, right? So you have to have that piece of you that says, I'm going to go after my dream no matter what. And I'm here to tell you your dream is valid. It wouldn't be there if you weren't supposed to go after it. Whatever that thing is that you fear most is probably, like if you answer the question, what would I do if I wasn't afraid I would fail? Whatever that thing is probably what you should be doing with the rest of your life. And if it's not travel, go find someone, right? That's one of those things, right? So find out whatever your thing is. What would you do? Is it be a gardener? We actually had our goal digger retreat and some stuff came out because we were talking about big goals and how you plan and how you map it. And there were some really cool, unique things that came out that people were like, I didn't even realize I wanted to do this. This is the thing I was afraid to say out loud because I thought my family would laugh at me. Right? And if that's a good sign. It means it's a big enough goal that you're going to have to stretch and grow to get there. All right. So, but that's number 2, guys. And the most successful people know it when you feel in that place of fear, that's normal. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to lean into it. I would rather you, in our mastermind, we're like, it's okay to be fearful, but forward. It's okay rather than stay in comfortable but crappy, right? Go ahead and stay in, I'm a little fearful, but I'm moving forward. And this came up on our mastermind call yesterday. I have a client who's in the program. She's awesome. She's rocking it. She's done all the steps. We give you a roadmap that says, here's how you set everything up, right? So she's like, Cyndi, I've set everything up, but I'm afraid to turn it on because I'm afraid people are going to call me, right? And that is such a normal fear because you've done all this work, everything's good, it's ready to go, you just have to hit the button, but there's that little hesitation of this is real now, people are going to call me to book their vacations. And that's one of those moments that you just have to go, I'm a little fearful, but I'm moving forward, right? And kind of go for that. And spoiler alert, you're going to have some failures. Especially if you're doing it the go it alone approach, you're going to have to get comfortable with failure. Failure is not your enemy. Not learning the lesson from the failure is your enemy, right? I love failure because it teaches me what not to do, right? The Nelson Mandela quote that says, I never lose, I either win or I learn, right? So as long as you get the lesson, the quicker you can fail, the quicker you can get to success. You got to figure out what doesn't work to get to what does. We have 2 types of clients that sign up for our mastermind. We have the first client that is like, just show me what to do. I don't want to waste time. Just give me the roadmap. Let me follow this process. I want to have this success I've been hearing about. That's the person who doesn't want to waste time. Then the other person is the person who has been through every single freaking failure and figured out the 100,000 things that don't work in our industry. And they finally get so beat down, they know they need to do something different, right? So, but they made it to our door. They're getting help, they're getting success, or wherever you're going to get your help and success. I'm not saying it's necessarily our program, but the point is it's okay to fail as long as you're catching the lesson from the failures. Okay, guys? So I want you to, instead, on the failure side, I want you to start asking yourself, what if I succeed? What if this works? What if I can? Because you can. I promise you can. So number 3, willingness to do what it takes to play it big. And I'm gonna pause here a second because I'm actually gonna pull up in another screen. Give me just a second. And I'm not gonna share names because this is people's private information, but I'm gonna share a couple quotes that came out of our grad group. We were doing a check-in recently to say, hey, how are things going? You know, where can you use our support? Tell us what's been going on for the past year for y'all. And we have dozens of comments in here, but just to kind of read off a few. Hang on, I'm gonna need my glasses on this. So, Cyndi, it's been a while since we talked. I've been meaning to send you this message. When I started your program, before I even graduated, I had a group cruise of 30 people. Your program helped me market correctly and feel competent. It goes on and on and on. I'm gonna skip to the highlights of these because I'm trying to inspire you guys to what's possible. Where do I begin? My sales have gone through the roof. My business is 2 years old. Last year, my total sales were less than 10,000. This year, I am hoping to break 500. I'm just under 80 to go. Had my first $90,000 FIT sale. Cyndi, I got into this business for the perks. Now I'm generating sales on a regular basis. Cyndi, remember when I said my goal was to do $1 million a year? I'm going to close at $3 million this year. Cyndi, our company just celebrated its 2-year anniversary. We've now scaled to 30 ICs. Cyndi, I just graduated. I already booked my first $14,000 in travel. Okay, so look, however you guys go about getting your education, that's awesome. But the reason I'm sharing my clients' results is I want you to know what's possible. Like, stop putting a lid on it. Stop putting a cap on what you think is possible in the industry. I had a goal 18 months ago. I was already doing multiple 6 figures in my business and a 10-year record of that, by the way. But I was like, I want to do something huge. We just celebrated hitting 6 figures a month. Just let that settle. Let that settle, right? So stop letting other people tell you what is possible. That's number 1. Are you going to soar with eagles? Right? So think about that in terms of what you believe is possible and where your place is. Do you want to, like at the beginning, the story I shared at the beginning, did I go talk to the people that were doing 30,000 a month? No, I went straight to the person that is doing the very, tell me what you did, right? So whatever your passion or, life's purpose is, figure out who's doing it at the level you want to do it and get inspired by it, number 1, and then figure out what they're doing and model it or learn from them. Okay. So what does it take? Like the willingness to play it big. And I say willingness, that's the most important thing of number 3, because everybody wants to have the big travel business, but do you have the willingness to do what it takes to get you there? So the first one is get a new perspective. And that's why I shared those quotes with you today. I want you to understand more is possible than you think. There's travel consortia out there, Virtuoso, what's the other one? Signature. You have to already be doing $2 million a year to even talk to them to get into their consortias. And they have look up their conferences online. Those are all the people. They have to be doing $2 million or higher to even work with that consortia. Let that stuff inspire you. It is possible, but you got to figure out how to do it, right? So get inspired. Get that new perspective. Let's see. Challenge what you believe is possible. Checking my notes. I'm making soar with eagles, making sure we get all of this. Yes. Okay. So I covered all that. So I want you to right now decide what your vision's going to be. And if it's a hobby business, again, there's no judgment. You can still learn from all kinds of stuff and grow at the pace you want to. But if you are willing to grow or want to grow to that super size, what do you need to do? Get that new perspective, challenge what you believe is possible. And the third step is get the help that you need. And you probably already know what you need. If you're an existing business and you can close good, you're a good closer, your problem is probably just lead flow. Like you need real marketing in place. If you open up your computer every day and it's like crickets, there's no leads coming in, it's a marketing issue. If you have plenty of leads coming in but you're not closing, you have a sales issue. You're not closing well enough. So you probably already know where you need help. Maybe you need automation. One of my clients I worked with recently, she's like, Cyndi, my problem's not leads. I book between 150 and 200 trips a year. My problem is, how do I get my life back? How do I balance? How do I cherry pick my clients, right? So we have a whole different communication and structure we work out with her to kind of help her get where she wants to be. So, but whatever your thing is, get the help that you need to get there. And guess what? It's probably going to be an investment. You might have to invest in automation. You might have to invest in marketing. You might have to invest in a mentor. But another coach said this at our retreat. She said, you have to invest at the level you want to be at, not at the level that you are. And I think that's really smart because like this year, we had a risky year. Like we were closing on our house and we had to have a lot of cash to be able to close, because in Texas, they only have a certain amount that they have loan limits. So I went to my husband and I was like, I want to spend $30,000. I want to hire this expert, this expert, this expert. There's different things I want to do. And he's like, okay, I trust you. It's like, but we're supposed to close on our house. So we have to earn all that back and then some. So, but did that $30,000 pay off? Well, yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. So, and I'm not saying, I know you don't have $30,000 when you're starting out new or you're growing or you're scaling, but the thing you might need to buy, the mastermind you might need to participate in, maybe it's Careers on Vacation, maybe it's something else, I don't know, but get the help that you need so you can stop wasting years or time or going through that cycle of banging your head against the wall with the frustration, and get the help so you can just fix it and move on. Right? I love what's the movie where they say there's no crying in baseball? Like, this is a business decision. You're not buying a pair of shoes. So figure out what your business needs to grow and scale and get to the next level, and invest in yourself. When did you stop believing in yourself? If you believe in your idea and your dream and you stand in that, you got to push past that I'm fearful but forward and get into I'm ready. What do I need to get there? Right? So that's the other thing where it's playing it big, right? Understanding, do you have the willingness to do that? And be honest with yourself about that. And if you don't, that's okay. You can DIY the crap out of your stuff. It's going to take a lot longer, and that's okay. But if that's where if you want to stay in the comfortable versus the I'm a little fearful but forward, you have to choose and be honest with yourself about where you are. If your dream's big enough and your why's big enough, there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting to your goal, and that means you're ready to do whatever you need to do or whatever it's going to take to grow your business. And by the way, your job as an entrepreneur is not to do everything. That's a big misconception. So, like, if you're trying to do everything in your business, that's a recipe for failure. Your job as an entrepreneur or a successful business owner is to set the vision, get the help that you need to achieve that vision, and steer the ship. Keep it on track to whatever that goal is. So that's why at this point, we've outsourced some of our marketing. We work with different companies to do different things, different initiatives that we have, and it works because we're willing to pull those triggers. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you today. I'm so glad to be back to doing the live streams on a regular basis. If your dream is to grow and scale your travel business, please reach out to us at careersonvacation.com/ready now if you'd like to apply for our mastermind. And no matter what, I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. We are going to be back for regular live streams Wednesdays at 10 every week except the last week of the month. So I will see you guys next week. Pop me a comment below, or if you're catching the replay, click me a little CTR for caught the replay so we know that you're getting value out of the content that we're putting together for you for our advocacy work. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Love you all.